little sign that says welcome. And I'm going to do a low profile wreath today because so many people um, say that the wreaths are too big, they can't fit between the doors. So I tried to make sure that I at least give a variety. So I do make a few um, low profile wreaths so that I can appeal to the masses. So I'm working with the Dollar Tree work form. So I've already have my pipe cleaners attached, and I'm going to go ahead and start working. I'm supposed to be live on YouTube, but I'm not seeing it. So if you're over on YouTube, give me a shout. And I'm just using the ruffle method. And as soon as, as quickly as I started, I almost forgot what I was doing. It has been a heck of a week thus far. And I was so looking forward to today. And then because, the technology at my day job wasn't really working for me. Everything was so slow. IT was supposed to come by, but they didn't make it. So hopefully tomorrow. And then when I come to try to let me change, see if I can change my view. Sorry about that. When I came to do set up my live, when it wasn't working, I'm like, no, it can't be. It can't be. Something has to work today. And I know last week quite a few people were on Facebook, but I didn't see you. And so I had to respond to everything. Oh my goodness. I had to respond to everything afterwards. And it doesn't look like I'm seeing any comments thus far. So again, if you are out there, say hello. Just spreading. I'm still going to try to see. Just hoping I can see. All right, I'm not seeing me on Facebook, so I'm just going to continue on. So there were just 12, I used 12 pipe cleaners for this method. And because the sign that I'm using is so large, I won't even have to worry about making a bow because it's going to take up the whole frame. I should have full coverage, which is what you want because you don't want, well, at least I don't like seeing the frame. And so right now I can see it, but once I get my ribbon put on and once I get the sign on, it'll have full coverage. I know in one of my groups, they mentioned having to do something in Facebook to fix the comments, and I'm going to have to, I thought it was just a fluke because sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. So I was just hoping that last week was just a fluke and that I would get the comments back this week, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. So I will do some research to see what I need to do. I'm going to do this first outer layer first and then add my ribbon. Oh, okay. My friend Rachel just told me that I'm live on Facebook and YouTube. I just can't see it. So thank you, my friend. I sent her a message earlier saying I don't think I'm going to be able to go live today because my system looks so different. But I guess it's working. So thank you so much, Rachel. I feel like I have adopted her as my my business buddy. She didn't I imposed myself on her and she's been great. All right. I didn't show you the ribbon I was using. Got myself all frazzled that I didn't show you. I'm keeping it simple because the sign, you know, says so much, or, you know, it's statement by itself. It's large. It has the hearts. It says welcome. And so I just thought I would accessorize it with just a plain, simple heart ribbon and a solid. But I'm trying to get these extra pipe cleaners down so that it's easier for when I have to do the top row. So I've gotten that together. So I have this ribbon and I just accompanied it with a solid red. And I wanted to be able to use all of my mesh. So I'm just doing some curls with it too. And I'm going to add it should still be flat. So even though I added that extra curl, but I just thought it would be best if I try to use use all of the ribbon so that I don't have any stragglers. Just trying to get that straightened out. And now I'm going to cut this extra. And I'm so sorry that I cannot converse with you because I don't see your comments. But know that I appreciate you watching. Nope. I tried it again to see if I could see the comments, but I cannot. I'm just happy it's live and I don't have to go through an extra step to have to post it. So I'm just adding the ribbon tails and a curl of mesh. So I have to tell you about my story about my dog. So my husband said, you need to watch him because he's starting to wander. And what I thought he meant by that is we have a cluster of trees in our backyard, and it's off a golf course. So I thought, because I've seen him, test his limits, and he'll go just on the side of them. And I was thinking that's where he was going. But this morning, I let him out and I'm calling him and he's not answering. So I go further out and he comes not one house over. He had to have been further along because he was running through my immediate neighbor's backyard, but he looked like he was coming from 2 houses over. And I'm like, not good. Because I don't know. Granted, I think my neighbors are older, so they don't have any kids, but still, he should not be in someone else's yard, and he has never done that before. So, just makes me nervous. So, now he's on restriction, and I have to make sure that I'm watching him if we don't go for our walk, and I just let him out in the back. Because our yard isn't fenced. But he normally has been so good, he never leaves the yard. Now all of a sudden, he's getting sassy in his old age. And I'm like, there's just one more thing I have to worry about with him in the morning. I'm hoping everyone is having a good week. I'm just going to say interested. I'm trying not to feed into what's really happening, but it's been an interesting week thus far. I really wish I could see who's out there so I could at least chit chat. Because I miss having my girlfriend here, because I hate talking to myself. At least if I could see some comments, I could talk back. I guess I'm an honorary member of my husband's basketball booster club, and so we're looking at fundraisers because this year we went on 3 trips and we tried to incur some of the costs so that it's not too much on the families, and to do extra nice things for them. And so we're planning on doing a bingo. And so I was, suggested that I think we should go play bingo so we can see what it's like, how many rounds they do, what they offer. So hopefully in the next couple of weeks, we can go play some bingo. I haven't been in such a long time. I went a few times with some coworkers, and we had a great time. I even got, I had my little Lucky Charms. I had my little dauber. I was all set. Now I don't know where any of those things are, but I know I have some trolls around that I can use as my little good luck charms. All right, so we have completed the first row. Just need to fix the tails a little bit. My husband would hate this ribbon because of the glitter. Like, oh my goodness, it's all over the place. All right, so now I'm going to make some room so that I can do this last layer. So we're hoping that, let me, hoping that we can have a profitable show, but we probably won't do anything until next year. But we want to do our, due diligence now, so because it seems to be like a large undertaking getting, sponsors and things like that. So we need to all figure out what we need to do. So all right, so we're just going to do the same thing. And I know some will probably, say, well, why aren't you telling us everything you're doing? I'm not really doing a tutorial. I am mainly hanging out. But if you have a question, I will definitely answer it. We're hanging out, making inventory for my shop. Chit-chatting with my friends. We had a few new people last week, so hopefully they came back this week. If so, I will make sure I say hello when I'm finished here. We have a heavy basketball week. We have 3 games this week, and we have 3 games next. And next week, we actually go out of town to play basketball. So, busy, busy, busy. But I like this time of year because, I love football and I love basketball. So I get to enjoy them both. Hopefully my team, makes it through first rounds. I don't know how many sports fans we have out there. But I'm an Eagles fan. I'm a Philly girl. So I love me some Eagles. When they won the Super Bowl, I called my boss. I was like, okay, I'm going to the parade. Can I get off? And she was like, absolutely. So I drove to Philly by myself, and I met up with my cousins and my aunt. And we went to the parade. And I'd be willing to take another PTO day so that I can go to the Super Bowl. So we got to get through the playoffs first. And if my husband's watching, he probably has something smart to say, but it's okay. All right, so I just have 2 more. All right, almost done. And see, it's still very flat. Even though it has some volume to it, it's still flat and it will fit between the door perfectly. And I'm not putting a bow, and the sign itself is flat, so it works out. husband had practice, but he and I think a few of his team were planning on going to support the girls who had a basketball game today. So after their practice, I think they were headed over to the neighboring school to cheer on the Lady Patriots. So hopefully they do well today. All right, so now we're getting ready to add our tails and our curl. And doing 20-inch ruffles and 10-inch curls worked out perfectly. I was able to use the whole roll of mesh with no leftover, so I don't have to worry about. I probably have 3 or 4 bins of half-used ribbon that I'll have to figure out what I can do to use it, because I don't want it to go to waste. But it's, you can't get a full project out of it, so I might have to do, you know, a combination of colors. You know, we'll see. I'll come, because springtime is coming, so I could probably mix a couple of the colors, you know, make it nice and colorful. I used a wire on the sign, and I'm just debating whether or not I needed to put it on all 4 sides, because I only did it on the top and the bottom. So I'm not sure if, for some support, if I'm going to need to add some wires to the side. Once I get it on the frame, I'll be able to better determine if it's too heavy or not. We shall see. I don't know if I asked this last week, but did anyone make any resolutions, any goals? My goal was to do 3 reels a week and to do some posts on Pinterest. Well, I've definitely depended on Pinterest, but I have not been very good about doing reels. So I need to work on that. But I have been posting every day on Pinterest. So I'm not completely a bust on my goals, but I also made another personal one, and that's for me to take my dog out more for longer walks. So not necessarily for him, but for me. You know, he could walk all day. Well, sometimes he act like, you know, going to, you know, a mile. I've taken him on a 10-mile hike, so, but I would like to do it more frequently, you know, on certain days when I can get in more, you know, time. So that is a goal that I'm going to try to accomplish. Let me have a few more. Hold on. When I see stragglers, it drives me crazy, so I have to get them. I made some mini Christmas wreaths for some colleagues. I don't know, like probably 3 or 4 years ago. So they always put them up, you know, every year. But if I walk by their door and I see a straggler, I'm like, give me some scissors. Can't stand it. To them, it looks fine, but to me, it just drives me crazy. I love that the white help let the hearts pop a little. I was debating on whether or not I should have done black and white mesh, but I ended up with the red, and it wasn't until like 6 minutes before I was going on that I realized I picked the color, but I didn't cut anything. And I was like, oh Lord. So then I had to rush to cut the pieces. I'm like, I don't know what my mind is thinking about today. I'm all excited because I went ahead and reserved my hotel room for Hardworking Moms Reef Retreat. That's in March. So excited. I went to the spring one last year, but I couldn't make the fall. I had a really good time, and so I knew I wanted to go back, but I think when she did the fall one, it was our anniversary, so I couldn't go. But even if I can at least go once a year, that will be a treat. Because she's so nice. Just as nice as she is on camera, she's probably even nicer in person. So, and I learned some stuff. Because now I feel, we did a centerpiece in the spring. And I only really had done centerpieces for my house, my own personal use. But since her retreat, I made several, and I've sold several. So I'm like, yay, win. All right, so we are now done. But again, if you look, while it's still full, it definitely is flat enough that it will fit in between the door and the screen. All right, so now I'm just going to add my sign. Let's see. Luckily, the wire is thin, so I can weed it right through. Without too much effort. I say that, but now I'm having technical difficulties. The end of this wire has a mind of its own. It's going every which way but the right way. Okay, here we go. All right, here we go. All right. And I'm liking how it's laying. All right. So we have this. So I'm just going to go do the top. And I will work on figuring out how to get the comments back for next week. I'm trying to decide if I'm going to do Easter or if I'm going to do spring or if I'm going to do another St. Patrick's Day. So, decisions. But it probably won't be another Valentine. So. Okay, so with the fullness of this sign, I was able to cover the mechanics. You don't see the wires. And I think the wire is strong enough, though I don't even need to reinforce it on the side. I think that's good. All right, so let me change my view so you can see. This is how it turned out. Am I upside down? Nope, I'm good. And then if you look, probably I'm going to measure it. It's barely 3 inches tall. So definitely, because most times they're between 5 and 7. So this is great. All right. We are done this project. I'll be working on some ideas for my February for my Customer Appreciation Month. I do have a couple of things I think I want to do. I just need to get material, and I think I'm going to try, fingers crossed, I think I'm going to try to design my own sign for the final live in February, which is also my mommy's birthday. So I think I'm going to try to design something. I don't know if I might do a happy birthday wreath. I've never done one, so I might try to do that. So wish me luck. Hopefully I can do it. I have my sublimation machine set up. I can use Canva. I just have to figure out how to work it in Infinity to see if to make any edits, but fingers crossed. All right, I want to thank you for hanging out, and I'm so glad that, you know, I was live and you were able to see me, and I didn't have, you know, the technical difficulties that I thought I was having. I'm just so upset that I wasn't able to respond to any of your comments, but I will definitely do so once the live is over. See you guys next week, 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. You guys have a great week. Thank you.